What's up, little bitches? It's Sacred Union. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh, I should make up like an alter ego name for my dominant side, but I don't know. Y'all help me create a an alter ego. Do you like my look for the night? I was trying to be more daring, more dominant, more, you know, on my dark side instead of just a sexy, sensual or whatever. So I really wanted to tap into that energy. So we're gonna see how this goes because we are talking all things kink. It is the month of Halloween. So I want everybody to dig in a bag of tricks. I'm going to give you some different ideas on what you can play around with during the Halloween season. You feel me? It's going to be a little bit of, you know, some of the things that I've already talked about, but we're just going to kind of revisit some of those things and talk about some new things. So let's get into it. Number one, during this time, you know, like I said, I'm in my dominance kick. By the way, you feel me, this is a choker, but it is connected to my nipple ring. So this is something that you can definitely, you know, get into if you have nipple rings and things like that. I love this thing. I think I got it off Amazon if I'm not mistaken, but you can find them anywhere. Just type in, you know, choker nipple rings or something on Google and you'll find something. But this is something to kind of play with impact play or anything like that. And if you're into pain, really I don't feel any pain. I haven't really, you know, dug deep with this thing, like had it yanked or anything like that. I mean, I've yanked around on it just to see how, you know, like hard or whatever I can go or stand it or whatever, because you know you got to play with yourself first to see where you can go. But you know, I don't know, it's really up to you to see how far you can go and stuff like that. So anyway, so we're gonna get into this. Let's see. Dominance and submission, that is definitely one of the biggest things that people play with around this time of the year. It's probably the most you know, popular thing to play around with, because a lot of people, they like to dress up in costume when they go to parties or anything like that. Also, just like, it's just fun because you get the chance to do something that you haven't done before. Now, if you are normally in the submissive role, I highly suggest that you try to tap into your dominant side if you're interested, into your dominant side, and make him or her be the, you know, submissive in this scenario. I mean, it's fun. It's Halloween. You get to role play. We get to do something different. So yeah, so try out different types of dom and sub roles. So number one, in BDSM, the D and the S are interchangeable with submission and dominance, but also the S and the M are standing for sadism as well as masochism. So sadism is somebody who likes to inflict pain on someone, and then a masochism or a masochist is someone that is the complete opposite. They like to receive the pain. There's different ways that you can play with that. There's electro stimulation. What electro stimulation is literally electricity. You're playing around with it. So they have little zappers and things like that that you can play with, and it gives you a sensation. So you can start with the lowest vibration of zapness, I don't know, of electricity, and then you can actually raise it up, and then in different parts of the body it feels good, and in different parts it may feel a little bit more stingy and stuff like that. So if you're interested in something like that, just to get a different type of sensation, you can play around with that. Of course, it can get dangerous, so you want to be very careful. Watch what it is, what products that you use when you are when you're participating in that. So that's one thing. Another thing is impact play. So that's a part of impact play because you have an impact on the body in some type of painful manner. Other parts of impact play are, of course, your normal whips. If you like to use crops like I do. This is a crop. And then you also have paddles, things of that nature. Some people like to use chains. Some people like to use dog toys too. When I did that interview with Mistress Urban, they actually had a demonstration at the end. I don't know if I posted it. I probably did post when she was doing a demonstration, and it was a one of these dog toys. Of course, it wasn't actually used on a dog, but you can purchase it from like a website or something, and it was a thick, very, very thick rope that dogs use to like play with or whatever. But they used it to like whip and stuff like that. So it's like a heavier sensation instead of just a regular crop or whip or something. It's heavy and it gives more of a thuddy feeling. And there's a difference between the different types of, you know, whipping materials that you use. If something is a little bit thinner, like how this crop is, it's a thin, you know, shape. There's some paddles that are very thin. Those give off more of a stingy sensation, so it's really more so painful. I'm not a fan of stingy sensations. Like another way that you can get a stingy sensation would be like, you know, when he's slapping your ass or something like that, and he keeps slapping it in that same, you know, spot, and after a while it starts hurting. It's more of a stingy sensation. That's one thing that you can do. Or you can do more of a thuddy sensation, and that's when you have something that's thicker. So if you have like a paddle that is a little bit thick in width, or some whips give off a more thuddy sensation as well. Those types of things give off a sensation where you feel an impact, but it's more so like you feel the motion of it. Like it's like it makes you jerk a little bit, like bam. Or you might see the ass ripple a lot more. It doesn't necessarily sting, but it's like, whoa, okay. That's what I like personally. But some people do like the stingy sensation. I can handle it up to a certain point, but it's like, all right, now we're gonna have to switch. That's why with the little thing, I like to use it on other people. But you know, I like it sometimes too. You know, it's just a little sexy. See somebody that's dominating over you and they're like whipping you and stuff. I like that. So anyways, moving on. Other things that you can actually use, rope play. You can definitely do some things with that. Obviously, you have the shibari that I've talked about so many times, where it's like a decorative roping technique. It bonds the person who is getting tied up. It binds them into a certain position, so you can actually tie their legs together in a certain way, their arms. You can tie their whole body up together, so that way they can't even move in any type of way, and the dominant person has to flip them. They have to take advantage of however they want them and stuff. That is so sexy to me. I love it. I posted a video couple of weeks ago or whatever of this these two black individuals, of this black couple, or they were actually engaging in just shibari play. So definitely check that out if you did it. It was so sexy. Oh my gosh, that is like the perfect scenario for me. Bed restraints. With bed restraints, that is the perfect time if you ever want to practice edging. I mean, you can practice edging without restraining someone, but for sure when they are restrained and you are the one having to make them come, but then you stop when you know, sense that they're going to come, they have no way of getting out of it or making you continue. That's perfect. I love bed restraints. Great for edging. Let's see. Another thing, breath play. A lot of us love to be choked. That is like one of my requirements. So you can play with choking if you're into corsets. So like, you know, there's some lingerie pieces with corsets and things like that. Some people like to play around with that and have their partner tighten them up as much as they want them to be tightened up. And so, you know, of course, have your safe words in handy, or safe taps, whatever that you need. For sure, that's one way to breath play. Another way is your collars. So this isn't anything that is tight. It's just something, it's just a little choker. That's another thing that you can use, are chokers. But collars, you can actually tighten those up, put the leash on it, they can pull it, whatever that they want to do. And gag balls. Obviously, you're forced to breathe through your nose with a gag ball, and you're gonna have all that saliva and stuff just dripping on down. Sometimes that could be very sexy if you're into that. I love it, but yes. Another thing, I talk about it all the time, is temperature play. You can play with that with toys. You can do wax play. You know, have the wax heated at a certain temperature. And then you can incorporate knife play, like I've discussed with that, with your wax play, and chip it off with a knife and things like that. That can be very sexy. You have to be very careful, of course, and be very skilled. So I would suggest talking with a BDSM professional or looking it up on YouTube or something like that. What else? Let's see. So you have your rigger and your rope bunny. So going back to talking about rope, a rigger is somebody who likes to tie people up, and then the rope bunny is just the opposite, somebody who likes to be tied up. So have that whole role play thing going on. You can role play as far as like having scenarios like your maid and your, you know, house owner, or your pool boy and the rich housewife, or a hooker and the guy is trying to get at the hooker. Be careful with that. I heard somebody try to do that before. This woman told me that they got arrested, or almost got arrested. The police actually seen them and stuff, so be careful with that. And you know, just different types of role-playing techniques that you can do. There's your primal and prey, so someone can be the hunter or something, prying on their prey. As far as you want to go, some people like that type of stuff. I can take that. I would try it, honestly. It just depends on how creepy it gets. You can do pet play. Some people enjoy being a pet for a day, but you don't necessarily have to be a pet. It can just be where somebody owns somebody. So not necessarily a slave, but somebody who owns their pet. If you think about, if you have pets, how you own them and you tell them what to do and things like that, but you still love on them like they're your child. You can do something like that. You can also do a slave and master type of ordeal if you want to do that, a sex slave and things like that. However you want to play with it, whatever the consent level is, make sure that you have consent. That's number one. I should have mentioned that at the beginning, but yes, consent is very important as always. Let's see. Choirophilia. I just learned this word. That is actually playing with hands, so you can incorporate feeling on your partner a lot more. So hand jobs come in handy. Those are so underrated. Those can really be great. Get you some good shea butter or something like that. Get them hands nice and moist. You can do fingering. Some people are into fisting. I'm not that into it, but there's some people that love it, and I don't judge them for it. So definitely incorporate more hand play with your things. And hand play doesn't necessarily have to be sexual. It can be, some people are just literally really into hands, so when they see you grabbing bags or getting your nails done and stuff like that, that's something that turns some people on, you know. Degradation and humiliation, that's of course degrading your partner, call them a slut, bitch, whatever that they are comfortable with. Humiliation can be verbal as well, or it can be something physical. So if you're doing impact play, that's the type of humiliation that some people like to do. So definitely look into that. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it all. Call me your little dirty bitch. You know, even though I'm a feminist, I know that I noticed that I love being degraded in the bedroom. You now don't do that out in the street or anything like that. I will probably beat your ass. I will shoot you, whatever. So, but in the bedroom, I love it. I love it. So degradation, humiliation is definitely something. Let's see. Sensation play. So just basically making sure that you hit all of the senses. So you're hearing, and I'm gonna get into that in a second when we're talking about BDSM, but feeling, smelling, taste, all of that. But sight, use blindfolds and stuff, because nothing is more exciting and gives you more of a rush than to not know what's coming at you, as long as you guys have pre-talked about if you're willing to try it and stuff like that, whatever it is that you're going to surprise them with, that is. And then lastly, what I like to do during BDSM, I've noticed over the past couple of months while playing with myself, I love heavy metal music. It really gets you going. Like when you're whipping and things like that, when you're getting whipped, all of that stuff, it really gives you a nice like vibe and stuff like that. You really get in the zone. And when I was talking to Mistress Urban and her partner, Sir Silverback, they were both talking about that that's what they love to do when they're doing their shows and stuff like that. They love to use heavy metal music. And so, but yes, so guys, just let me know in the comments what it is that you plan on trying, what you have tried. Give me some new ideas, whatever that you got. It's still early in the month. We have until the 31st, so make sure that you get your kinks in. Like, share, subscribe this video, please. I really appreciate it. And I love the love that you guys have been showing me with doing these weekly videos. Like, it really means a lot. So continue to do that and have a happy Halloween. I might do something special for Halloween. I don't know. Give me some ideas, y'all. All right, peace. Love y'all. Bye.